In my video from last week, I encourage you to know your biomarkers, including your percentage of body fat, both your visceral and your subcutaneous, your lean muscle mass, your bone mass, and other biomarkers, because that annual BMI that your doctor gives you isn't very helpful, as well as looking at that weight on the scale, pretty much useless as in determining what your true health is, what your body's made up of, what the composition of it, and your metabolic health will not be determined by a scale or your BMI. You need to have real markers. And one of the ones that came up a lot and I pointed out and you wanted to know more about was the visceral fat component, because that is dangerous. We want to know how to avoid it, and that's what today's video is on. But before I do that, my name is Andrew Kolasko, and from here on out, I am your very own longevity coach for you men 50 plus. Every week, I'm here to give you the insider info, the no BS on how to maximize and optimize your future years, giving you the protocols and the modalities that will really make a difference and move the needle on your future health years. I'll give you more cardiovascular robustness instruction. I will give you how to build more lean muscle mass. I will give you how to gain your strength, how to overall change your body composition for the better, and your overall sense of well-being. We'll work on that too. So be sure to leave a like if you like this, as well as subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. I want to hear for my future videos and what you thought of this one. Anything I can to help me dial in the best type of material and content that's going to be of help to you. Pretty much all of what I covered today has been covered in my past videos when I've been focusing on longevity, because wouldn't you know it, longevity and avoiding visceral fat, they go hand in hand. Okay. If you follow my longevity protocols, then you'll see how that's also going to help you not have visceral fat. Okay. When it comes to visceral fat, first off, we're going to talk about the glucose aspect, and then we're going to talk about that fat component. Your body is very intelligent and it regulates what your glucose levels are diligently. Okay. Now, if you have a healthy metabolism, a healthy blood sugar level of glucose, then you have 1 teaspoon going through your body. But if you had 2 of these, just 1 more teaspoon, you have type 2 diabetes so bad you could possibly have your fingers amputated. That's how big of a difference it is. But you can see that is a very small minimum difference. But we are here today to help you not have that and have a healthy metabolism. So when your body can't handle that overabundance of glucose, you'll have type 2 diabetes. But long before that starts, usually what's happened is you've exceeded your limit of fat storage. And that's kind of spilled over. It's got into those vital organs, including the heart, the liver, and other precious organs like the pancreas. This is why in so many of my videos, you see that I am emphasizing having a good lean muscle mass percentage, because that helps use the glycogen efficiently, okay, through the muscles for energy and the production of ATP. Now, what happens is when it gets beyond that, it gets into your subcutaneous fat, okay? So that's the fat that's just underneath the skin. And what happens if it builds up and too much insulin is coming through and the fat cells have no place else to go, well, then that spills into over the organs, and that's giving you that visceral fat that's building up. So think of glucose like air, okay? So that's insulin building up and filling up, going through the muscles, going into the subcutaneous fat. And as it starts to fill it like it would a balloon, it can only take so much. And then it pops and then it runs over. And that's what causes the destruction. That's what causes the poor metabolic health. Because when that balloon reaches its max, the body still keeps producing that insulin. It keeps trying to get in there through there. And that's why it's got no place else to go. The cells can't take the fat anymore. And then the excess calories turn into that dangerous fat. This is very dangerous to your health. It causes inflammation, and then a vicious cycle starts, because once the insulin starts spilling over and it gets that visceral fat, then it makes it easier for it to happen in the future. That's why, as a longevity coach who truly cares about your health, I don't tend to go towards those before and after pictures, because they are not giving you a true indication of if you're healthy or not, because lean people can have type 2 diabetes. Also, did you know with the BMI indexing that fully almost a third of people who are shown to be obese based on BMI are actually extremely healthy? So you can't eyeball this stuff, okay? You can't just look at the exterior and know what's going on inside. You have to know what is really going on in the body and what your body's made up of. So that's why in that video, and I'll just touch on it briefly today, the Hume Health Smart Body Composition Analyzer is great because it's breaking out your visceral fat, it's breaking out your subcutaneous fat, it's breaking out your bone mass, it's breaking out your muscle mass so that you know what you're actually dealing with, okay? We're not just flipping a coin and seeing where it lands and hoping for the best based on the visual, because if you could be totally a little obese in the BMI indexing, or you could be very lean and have type 2 diabetes. So we can't go off the weight on the scale. We can't go off the BMI. I am leaving a link for a discount for the Hume Health Smart Body Composition Analyzer, so you can check that out there. So keeping visceral fat off and avoiding it, what matters? Being insulin sensitive, okay? You don't want to be insulin resistant. When you have insulin resistance, you have 12 times the chance of getting cancer. You have 5 times the chance of getting Alzheimer's and 6 times the chance of dying from cardiovascular disease. So when we know what our true body composition is and how those different components are broke out, we can put a plan in action. Okay, we can decide what the training needs to be, what the nutrition needs to be, what our overall sense of well-being, because stress actually plays a big part in building up visceral fat as well. So I'm going to give you the 5 things that you can do to avoid visceral fat and to keep your visceral fat at a minimum. Just before I get into those 5 items, a quid pro quo, okay? You'll find that fatty liver disease and visceral fat kind of contingent upon each other, okay? There's a relationship there. So some of the things I'm going to cover off in the 5, they will help prevent fatty liver disease. But like I say, that can often go hand in hand with visceral fat. In fact, it does. So a lot of these are going to help keep off that fatty liver disease as well as your visceral fat. Here are the 5 tips, and stick around for number 5 because I think you will be legitimately surprised by it. So high level, number 1, nutrition, okay? These are the high level tips that are going to help you. Stay away from processed foods. Limit your alcohol intake to 2 or 3 drinks a week or get rid of it completely. Be careful with your saturated fat intake, okay? Lean cuts of meat will be best. Okay. Protein is important and meat is a very good source to get them from, but I want you to, have your ribeye every once and again, but you want to make sure you're choosing those leaner cuts. You have seen me talk about this in almost every video. Okay. But you must have 1 gram per pound of body weight, ideal target weight of protein. So 1 gram of protein per pound of targeted your ideal body weight. That is crucial because you've got to have that protein to build the muscle, to have that glycogen work efficiently through your body and do what it needs to do. And once again, keep you insulin sensitive. In touching on some of the nutritional components that are going to be important for you, try to include garlic, showing that garlic is very helpful. So try to get that into your meals throughout the day, as well as cranberries. Put a little bit of that on your salads. They're showing that cranberries are helpful as well. Bonus, okay, cranberry juice will also help with muscle recovery, with your training recovery. 1 to 2 ounces of Pecorino Romano cheese or hard Parmesan cheese. Once again, great on salads. Whey protein isolate as well. Anything high in polyphenols such as green tea, duckweed creams, and beetroot juice. Now, beetroot juice, I want to point out something because that has naturally occurring in it. TMG, trimethylglycine, and I've talked about this on several videos as well. This helps with body composition, and there's research to prove it. So it's helped keep your weight the same, but gain lean muscle mass and reduce fat percentage. So it's awesome that way. I'm leaving a link below. There's a discount that you can use to get yourself some TMG because that will also help because once again, your muscles and the efficient use of the glycogen throughout is important. So you want to make sure you build that, and this will help with your overall body composition. Additionally, in your diet, include dark forest berries such as black currants, blackberries, blueberries, and even the lighter raspberries have been shown. About 2 cups a day of those kind of berries will be helpful. Speaking of getting your cups in, have 2 to 3 cups of coffee. Yes, they are proven that coffee helps keep off visceral fat as well. Stop snacking, or at least minimize as much as you can because calories in, calories out, that's a real thing. It's pretty hard to keep track of your calories throughout the day when you're snacking throughout it. As well, that keeps your insulin levels up higher, okay? It doesn't really give your liver a chance, doesn't really give that visceral fat a chance to, have a break because when you have a longer time in between meals, even intermittent fasting now and again, you will allow the body to not just use that subcutaneous fat for energy, but to go deeper and pull it out of the visceral fat, which ideally, that's what we want. Plus, spacing your meals out will help you become more insulin sensitive. Number 2, train right. You've got to optimize your training. Okay, I've talked about this with my longevity training, and it is so important, and you need to follow this protocol. Okay, this will definitely help you when it comes to your cardio training. I want to see 80 to 85% of it in zone 2 throughout the week. Okay, so that's about 60, 70% your heart rate. You'll know if you're in it if you can still talk with some effort, but you can't sing. Okay, or you can do it on your smartwatch and keep track of it that way. Then at least one day a week. So 10, 15% of your week, I want it in VO2 max training, okay? What that is interval training, like a Norwegian 4x4, okay? And that is, 5-minute warm up. Make sure you're warming up, okay? Because at this age, you can pull a muscle. So make sure that you're up to that pace. And then you go 4 minutes hard, all out, that you can sustain for those 4 minutes consistent. And then 3-minute break, 4 minutes all out, 3-minute break, 4 minutes all out, 3-minute break, 4 minutes all out, and cool down. That will help give you the tall peak that you need for your VO2 max, because good VO2 max has been shown to help eliminate visceral fat as well. And then you've got your wide base with that 80% or so of your zone 2 training. So then you're calibrating it just right. You got to do this right. Don't worry about going up into, zones 4, 5, and 6, and 7 throughout the week. You only have so many matches to burn too, okay? There's only so much effort. There's only so much time that you can put into your training. So get it dialed in the way it should be. Number 3, poor sleep. You need 7 to 9 hours per night. Non-negotiable. Number 4, stress. Okay, this is a big one because we have 4 times the cortisol receptors in our abdominal fat as we do anywhere else in the body. A lot of the executives I work with, they're under constant stress, okay? Their cortisol levels or stress levels can be quite high throughout the day. So we got to look at ways, life choices to help minimize and bring that down into something reasonable. So mindfulness, maybe meditation. Also, there's breathing protocols you can do, as well as we want to look at supplementation, maybe with an L-theanine or magnesium or omega-3s. These have been shown to help regulate stress levels as well. We really have to get an even part of our day. We can't just be bang, bang, bang all day. And I know I'm working with a lot of drivers that are type A personalities, but hey, we have to find ways to get that down. And your overall sense of well-being, that's going to improve as well. Number 5, and I said this one was going to surprise you, and without a doubt, it will, okay? Endurance training. So long distance runners have been shown through research to have more visceral fat. Why? Because that endurance training, that activity brings about the storage of visceral fat so that it can use more of that because you have those long distance that you need to cover. The training protocol that I mentioned before, that's the one for you to follow. You can get away with endurance training maybe in your teens, your 20s, and your 30s, but when you get to your 50s, 60s, 70s, you have to make sure that you're optimizing for your metabolic health and that you're getting the most out of it. And endurance training is a big no. So get rid of the bad, do the good. Build muscle. Stay insulin sensitive. Avoid being insulin resistant. You want to use the proper training, proper nutrition, as we've talked about here, to give you the best body composition and the best health overall. Okay? Your percentage from fat to muscle to bone. We've got to have those all as calibrated the best we possibly can. Aesthetics are important. I absolutely want those for you too, but they do go hand in hand and we can have both. My goal here is to have you look good, feel good, and play good. Do the right things right. You're an alchemist. You're Michelangelo. You're the mold. Okay? You can sculpt the body inside and out the way that you want. We will make progress when we can measure it. So use that as your starting point, and then let's build in the foundation, get the habits, the rituals in place so that we can be targeting where we want to be in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. You want to be planning now because you are not going to get there without having a target in sight. So see what your body composition is made up of now, and then know where you want to go. Let me know if this video has benefited you and been of value to you by leaving a like. And it makes me feel great too, as well as subscribe if you haven't already, as well as leave a comment. I read and I respond to every single comment there as well. I see men helping other men. It's been really rich to see them give their experience, to give some of the life lessons that they've had, to give some insights that they've got. And then we're working together as a community. And that's what I'm here for every single week, is to help you put those best future quality years in front of you, to give you that future life that you truly deserve. I'll see you again next week.